Now, when you guys hear crime simulator or crime game, I know that you guys are immediately thinking about GTA 5 or maybe even Mafia Definitive Edition, and I'm telling you, those are all great games. Today, I wanted to discuss a game that has been around since 2004 and has some of the most in-depth systems and interactions between players that I have ever seen in a crime simulator game. Within this game, you are able to commit solo crimes all on your own, as well as commit organized crimes with fellow faction members and other players, as well as traveling overseas into other countries to commit other crimes. So in the wise words of Trevor Phillips, let's kick off this video. Now, first off, to begin with this video, I promise you guys crimes, and I am going to show you the crimes. You can start with anything from searching for cash, where you can live out your ultimate hobo simulator. By the way, this is as pretty as the visuals get. I just kind of lured you guys in. Bootlegging. By the way, this text gets pretty wild. Graffiti. Next up is shoplifting, where you have to manage your notoriety and also when security is down for each store. Pickpocketing, where you can size up your targets. Card skimming. Burglary, where you have to scout out buildings and then break into them. Hustling. With enough practice, you can unlock the techniques for each games and then hire a shill and a pickpocket to make even more money off the crowd. Now comes my favorite crime, cracking, where you brute force passwords and then you can build up your rig to uncover more characters at once. It's fully customizable, allowing you to select where your power goes, your cooling, and your CPUs to increase the power of your rig. You can even take a guess at the characters if you can guess the word correctly, just to save you some time and nerve. This one by far is the most interactive and fun crime to come in Crime 2.0. I love the rig customizing and having to balance out overheating parts and cooling. Forgery, where you forge items anywhere from birth certificates to police badges and concert tickets. Scamming, where you send out spam waves of emails, get the reader's attention, and then you hold their attention until they cough up the dough. Arson, where you have various jobs of burning down buildings, businesses for either insurance fraud reasons or just straight up petty revenge. Sometimes the clients will ask that you don't completely destroy the building, which takes a lot of control. Finally, for the time being, disposal. Well, I guess I should take some time to explain the setting here in Torn City. Before I get too far into this video, guys, I'm not a stranger to a lot of these text-based games. I've been playing Torn City for close to 3 years now. I've been playing Zed City, which is basically the same idea with a bunch of incremental gains over several months, in which you're basically just trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse with other players and factions. You can go explore, defeat zombies, collect loot, and all that. Anyways, the main point is, if you want to try any of these games, please use my referral codes. It will be down in the description as well. Welcome to Torn City, a city that is predominantly run by crime. You are but a lonely citizen in Torn City just trying to make your way through the town and live your life. The city is primarily run by factions, which all form their own alliances of bigger conglomerates to take control of the city, and of course they can do different things like control different territories, and even raid and war with each other, and even gloat about their longest chains, in which you just make as many attacks as you possibly can in a row. On the darker side, this is also where dirty bombs are made, which is homemade nukes, which can be used to destroy factions by removing their respect. And this is where the main body of the politics come into the game, is in the factions and alliances. Luckily, you're not alone in these endeavors. You're introduced to an anonymous contact who gives you tutorial missions to get started off, and then he introduces you to Duke, who gives you the majority of your missions, and he is also the loan shark of the city. At this point, you're free to do whatever you want. Go through the city, finding items, get yourself a quality education here in Torn City, which, by the way, this takes weeks, if not months, to complete entire courses and degrees. You can increase your net worth to crazy amounts, which is just about all I want to do in this game, is just see how much money I can make. You can do this by the aforementioned crimes to make money, but of course there are other means, like investing your money into the bank for literal months or weeks. There's also the ever-changing stock market that you could invest your money into, sell stocks, buy stocks, and of course you can collect dividends on the stocks as well. You can even rent property to live in, which increases your happiness and gives you other benefits like a private airstrip and plane to travel with, Of course, I don't like renting, so my goal was to buy a private island and fully upgrade it, which takes quite a long time. There's a lot of unique properties in the game too that only a select few players own. Of course, alternatively, if you are feeling very lucky, you can gamble your money away in the casino. There's even a couple PvP ones like poker and Russian roulette. My favorite gambling, of course, though, is spinning the wheel, because Leslie is one of my favorite characters, and he says a lot of wacky stuff while you do this. Also, there's another merit tied to spinning the wheel, where you have to spin the wheels 1,000 times, and this takes a long time because you can only spin each wheel once a day, and there's 3 wheels. You can even get a job in Torn City, which in this case, I was going for a merit where you had to infuriate all of the job listing recruiters in the city. But otherwise, you can get jobs with private companies and even start up your own business, which gives you lots of different perks depending on how good your company is. As you can see, lots of jobs with lots of benefits. Speaking of merits, there's a lot of fun challenges in this game to go for. Like in shoplifting, you have to hit 100% notoriety in every single store all at once, and then there's nice, which you need the number 69 and 420 to appear in your gym stats at least 5 or I think 6 times. Finally, that takes us to the gym, and this is where you grow as a citizen in Torn City. While you can level up in the game by earning more respect, this is essentially how you get stronger and how you're able to combat other players in this game. It's also just so satisfying getting those gains. These stats are required for you to defeat other players, like in missions, which typically require you to defeat inactive players that are around your stat range. Combat is fairly simple. There's a lot of weapons that you can pick throughout this game, and depending on your stats, certain weapons might be better, and these are called builds, and you can also use temporary items which can help you combat certain builds as well early on. And once a player is defeated, you're given the option to either leave them, mug them, or hospitalize them, and mugging depends entirely on how much cash they are holding on them and not stored away in the vault or the bank. Luckily, if you ever happen to lose or get in the hospital, like when I had that critical failure in the crime, you can just med out with medical items. Another great way to make money is using that private airstrip I mentioned at my private island, or alternatively, you can also go standard and you'd have to pay for the flight, but essentially, this is a time management game where you spend time flying to different countries to buy and smuggle in items such as plushies and flowers. And drugs. You can also buy drugs, which is a huge part of this game in order to get ahead in stats. Africa is also home of another crime, technically, poaching, in which you hunt for animals over in Africa, which I am very proud of how far I've gotten into it. I'm very close to maxing it out, which takes a long time and a lot of energy, which is valuable, so people recommend that you actually don't do this. Of course, Africa isn't the only place you can travel to. You can travel to a bunch of other countries and see what they offer and what items that you can buy from them. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of mugging that happens overseas though, so of course be careful about that. It's probably long overdue for an explanation about game mechanics. You'll notice these 3 bars on the left: energy, nerve, happy, and life. Life, of course, being your life points. Once that hits 0, you go to the hospital. While you can unlock better gyms as you progress through the game, happiness affects how much gains that you get from the gym. Nerve is the resource bar that decides how often you can commit crimes and also what crimes, as they all cost different amounts, and this can be refilled via cannabis or drinking alcohol, and they limit you with a booster cooldown that tops off at 48 hours depending on how much alcohol you consume. Your nerve will regenerate by 1 point every 5 minutes, and your energy will regenerate by 5 points every 10 minutes. Energy is by far the most valuable resource you have, and this can be refilled using Xanax, which has a 6 to 8 hour cooldown, and you can also drink energy drinks, which is another expensive option to refill it, but of course will fill your booster cooldown. So honestly, the biggest resource here is time. Everything in this game is incremental gains, and you want to be spending your natural energy and natural nerve as it comes back, because it won't overcap unless you purposefully try to overcap it, and at that point you won't be getting the natural gain. Then when you really get into it, you're going to be wanting to pop Xanax all the time so that you have the drug cooldown going, which of course increases your chance of overdosing and increasing your addiction, which eventually you have to go to rehab. As you can tell, there's a lot of systems in this game, and time is basically what rules it all. You want that timer going down. With these browser-based, text-based games, I find that they're pretty similar. As you can see in Zed City, you also have energy. Instead of nerve, you have the radiation resistance. Instead of happiness, you have morale. And of course, you have your life point bar. Zed City is also fairly similar in that you can scavenge for items. They're a little bit heavier on the whole crafting and trading. Money isn't as important in this game, but you can go explore into different regions to gather different materials. So Zed City has that going for it. It's pretty fun. Use my referral codes if you want to try any of these games. Finally, just the last thing I want to talk about in Torn City, and probably the most fun and in-depth thing that I've seen, is racing. Of course, street racing has to be in the crime game, right? It's another one of those things that you can do all the way up to 100 and max out, which is, of course, you know, I just love seeing those numbers go up, so of course I'm going to do it, and it's really fun. It's another one of those things in Torn that is technically PvP, where you go up against other players, but there's so many different cars, so many different tracks, and you can spec out each car to each specific track to see which ones do best. And of course, there's tons of upgrades. There's your aerodynamics, the brakes, the engine, the exhaust, the fuel, your safety, your everything. It's such an in-depth system. It's really fun, and I really enjoyed it. Just one of those things I wanted to share. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Referral code.